Welcome back to the Tool Crib. Today we're going to be taking a little bit closer look at the Leatherman curl. Now I've had the opportunity to use this tool now for the past week, and I gotta say I've been pleasantly surprised with how convenient it is to use and carry. As far as the tooling goes, pretty much everything that you find in the Leatherman curl is the same type of tooling that you're going to find in the Leatherman Wave Plus, with the exception of the awl. So we'll go ahead and fan them out here real quick. You get the scissors, the large flat driver, and the awl in the Leatherman curl, where in the Leatherman Wave this will become the micro driver. And then on the opposite side you have the bit exchanger and then the combination tool, which includes can opener, bottle opener, and wire stripper, which all work very well. For the outside tools, you get the knife blade 420 HC, one hand accessible, and then on the opposite side you get the file, which includes the diamond file. Now, one of the sticking points for a lot of people is the fact that this one does not include the saw blade. Now, what I have been surprised about when using this tool, first of all, it can't be discounted that it's an ounce and a half lighter than the Wave Plus. It's very convenient to carry and includes the integrated pocket clip. Though I find the pocket clip is really not exactly to my liking. I prefer the one on the Wave Plus a little better because it's a little thinner in profile, or sits a little closer to the frame, I should say. This one sticks up a bit, so it's not really a hot spot. I notice it, and it's really not. It's not an advantage or disadvantage in my opinion. It's just a personal thing to me. Now, what I've been really surprised about, and I've used this in light duty tasks, medium duty tasks, and some what I would consider a little harder tasks. And as of yet, I have yet to fold this over when using it. Now, normally when I'm using the driver, I will close the tool back up and use it in this formation. Every once in a while, when you need to get some extra torque, put it in the pistol grip to get use the handle as a torque mechanism in order to get a fastener loosened or tightened. In either orientation, I have yet to fold over the driver, and that is a testament to how well engineered the slip lock mechanism is on the new, both the Bond and the Leatherman curl. They have done a really fabulous job on the retention of that. In fact, when we open this up, you can really hear how solidly that locks in. So I've also found it a little bit more convenient too, because now you're not reaching for the lock mechanism in order to close the tools up. You get the added security, especially when you're talking about using tools like an awl, where you know that it's positively locked. And so I still prefer the lock tools. My point is that this one will handle light and duty medium task without fear of doubling over on you, and it's kind of convenient because you're not reaching for that lock to close them back up. So I just find that I find that to be an added benefit to this tool, and I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. Now, what you lose with this one, and when you're comparing it to the Leatherman Wave. So first of all, the Leatherman Wave Plus is going to have replaceable wire cutters and hard wire cutters. That is something that is not a deal breaker for me on this tool. I actually kind of prefer this. The advantage to this is the pliers themselves, the main pliers. You actually get a little bit more room to work with as opposed to these. Now, they do angle these cutters back a little bit to allow you to get gripped onto larger stuff, round stock or square or hex bolts and nuts. Still, you get more plier real estate, is how I'll put it, with the Leatherman curl. So that doesn't affect me on the pliers themselves. What I do miss, and it's something that I use in my Leatherman Surge quite a bit because I do little electrical stuff here and there, I like having the wire crimper on the back, which the curl does not have. The next thing is that the Wave Plus is going to have two additional outer tools. So namely the saw blade that we talked about earlier and the serrated blade. I use the serrated blade a lot. The saw blade, I don't use it as much as probably a lot of other people, so that one doesn't affect me quite as much, but I definitely use the serrated blade, and I miss not having it on the Leatherman curl. And the last thing is going to be, like we talked about before, in the locking tools. So my experience with the curl has been really positive. The lighter weight makes it more convenient to carry. The fact that the lock mechanism is solid enough to handle light and medium duty tasks, as well as being a little bit more convenient when closing those tools up, I find to be a benefit in some ways. Still, I prefer the locking tools. My sticking point with this one comes back to what it was originally, and that is the price. So with the Wave Plus, this one retails for $100. Now, let's not discount the fact that the Wave Plus does not come with a pocket clip and the Leatherman Curl does. So you're talking another $10 to $12 to add on a pocket clip to this one. So now we say 110 versus 80. It's really dependent on the end user to decide whether or not that $30 difference makes up for losing two tools, the accessible or the hardwire cutters, wire and hardwire cutters, the crimpers, and the added security of the locking tools. In my opinion, it doesn't quite. Though I've had very positive experience with the Leatherman Curl, I think it's a little bit overpriced. And if you're dropping it down to the $70 mark, 60 if it didn't have the pocket clip, 70 because it does include the pocket clip, then I think it's worth the value. I realize that that's not much, $10 difference, but I think that if you put it down to $70, which I'm hoping that they will. When the Wave Plus came out, I think they had it at 110. It very quickly dropped back down to 100, which I think is where it fits really well at. Given its capability, what all you can do with it, $100 is a really good value for the Leatherman Wave Plus. If they drop the curl down to the $70 mark, then they're going to get high praises from me because I think this is a very well-engineered tool. I especially am pleasantly surprised with how solid the lock mechanism is, or the slip lock mechanism is for the interior tools. It's just a tad heavy on the price. That's all. That's my only real complaint about this tool. So it's up to you to decide whether or not you see the value at $80 for this tool with everything that it includes. I personally think it's a little high, but that's really my only complaint. This is actually a very, very good tool. My name is Ben. You've been watching the Texas Tool Crib. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.